Welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look outside with Storm Track 15 Chief Meteorologist Dan Romano. He's here alerting us to freezing conditions that some of us will experience tonight. Not looking forward to that, but you're also tracking red flag warnings. You got a lot over there, buddy.
Yeah, it's very counterintuitive. You know, it seems like even though it's incredibly cold, that doesn't make sense to see elevated wildfire concerns, but that's what we're dealing with. Now, a lot of folks across the region are also still seeing some smoke in the air, and that's due to some agricultural fires. Now, keep in mind, the state has exempted agricultural burns from the statewide burn ban. Nonetheless, it's still very dangerous out there to even have a controlled burn across the region because we're still holding on to these red flag warnings until 7 o'clock tonight. And that's the combination of the very dry air, the gusty winds that we're still dealing with, and the fact that we're also dealing with some, well, arid conditions in terms of the drought all across the area. So when we step outside, take a look at the Queen City of the Tesh camera, you can see a little bit of a haze here along the horizon. That's another fire that's a bit in the distance, but it is creating some milky skies. Nonetheless, we've hit 60 degrees here in New Iberia, 61 degrees specifically, but look at that dew point, only 22 degrees. So again, winds lighter than yesterday, but still pretty breezy out there. Out of the north and northeast, anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour. We've had wind gusts around 25 miles per hour at times in some locations. Again, not as strong as what we saw yesterday, but still very impressive. And take a look at these dew points. Single-digit dew points down in Abbeville. So this is an incredibly dry air mass that we are contending with. In terms of the heat, that's obviously stealing a lot of headlines. We'll step outside, take a look at the Hub City Tower Cam. It's 10:20 this evening, and it's still 90 degrees. But that dew point at 81 degrees feels like we're sitting in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Air temperatures right now into the 80s to low 90s across the area. You factor in the humidity, and it still feels like 109 here in the Hub City, 104 in New Iberia, and it still feels like 98 degrees in Crowley. Now, heat indices will subside a little bit. They're still going to remain pretty high over the next few days. But you notice something by Wednesday and Thursday. That's dry air moving into the picture by the end of next week. But for tomorrow, we're still dealing with heat advisories across Acadiana. That's a step back from the excessive heat warnings that we're seeing to the north. But as far as rain chances go tomorrow, they're pretty much going to be non-existent. Maybe an isolated shower if we're lucky. That said, as we head into Saturday, there are increased chances of precipitation, about a 30 to 40% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And with drought concerns being as high as they are, that's some good news. Now, we're also keeping an eye on the tropics. There's going to be a wave moving into the Western Caribbean over the next couple of days, and there's growing concerns that this could develop into a tropical depression at the very least over the next 7 days as it meanders its way up to the north. At the same time, there's something very important that we're keeping an eye on. This tropical wave is going to lift up to the north. As it does so, we're going to be dealing with a cold front dropping down from the north. That's going to block this tropical wave from impacting us, and it's actually going to push it off to the east. So if this does develop into a bigger system, it could have its eyes on a sunshine state, but also this is going to be responsible for bringing drier air into the picture by the middle of next week. So again, this storm moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. That's tough to outrun on an interstate, let alone some of these rural roads. So again, that is a very impressive couplet that we're seeing right now. It is small and it is compact, but there is a good amount of rotation with lightning just in the vicinity of where this rotation is occurring. Again, so this is moving to the northeast at 65. This tornado warning includes Vermilion, Acadia, Lafayette Parish until 6:45. So please, now is the time for you to get in your safe spot while this thunderstorm continues to race up to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So again, it does look like we have a pretty impressive couplet there, and it is headed in a direction of the western portions of Lafayette Parish, eastern portions of Acadia Parish, moving out of Vermilion Parish and into those areas within the next 20 minutes or so. Rain, 6:42. Maurice, it will likely impact you just a minute after that. Scott, 6:49. So that's 24 minutes from now. The Hub City in Lafayette, here it'll impact us at 6:52. And Cancton at 6:53. So this is a very fast-moving thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado.